Hello, everybody, and happy Tuesday night. We got another episode of the Movie Club coming on. Thank you so much for joining in, whether you're watching this live right now and going to be joining in the chat, or if you're watching a replay of it. Either way, it's a super big help. I appreciate y'all jumping in here and hanging out with us. But I have a very fun couple that I've run across on YouTube that I really wanted to get on here to talk to, because they have so many different things we can talk about. We'll see what we get to tonight, but either way, it's going to be fun. I'm really excited for all of you to be joining us as well. And, we'll try to jump in the chat when we can, kind of go back and forth with that. So if you have any questions of your own, be sure to throw it out in the chat and we'll see what we can get to. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to go ahead and bring out, we got the dynamic duo. I was thinking like a very creative couple here. We got Hope Madden and George Wolf of madwolf.com. So
hello.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Well, thank you for the invite.
Yeah, thank you so much, Corey.
So one thing I want to tell everybody that is checking out right now, at the very least, and I can always add other things, but I have a link to your YouTube channel and your .com, your madwolf.com website. So the only thing I'll ask people, please go check them out. Hit the sub. It doesn't cost you anything, and you might find your next favorite, reviewer, YouTube channel, movie people. They're digging into everything. It's fun. I'm still going back into the back content. I will still admit I'm very new still to your channel, but I'm loving what I'm seeing so far.
Oh,
and it's a lot of fun. So everybody, if you could go hit sub, go check them out. Throw a couple, comments out there, like something that's, I just recently was watching a fun interview where you had a filmmaker on, like a director on, and I now have a new movie that I have tagged on my Shudder account to watch. And I always love that. I always have a pen and paper with me too, because you never know when a new movie is going to be suggested that you haven't come across. So like I said, you doesn't cost you anything. You might find your next favorite channel. So please go check them out. And that being said, I'll shut up for a second and let you two talk. But high level, I hope we can dig into each thing a little bit more in depth. But high level, can you just tell people where you're at? Where they can find you. What you're doing. Like, you have a wide range of things that the two of you are involved with. So, do you want to do the 30,000-foot speech on it, or?
Well, we keep pretty busy. Yeah, we're based here in Columbus, Ohio, and we have the main website, madwolf.com, and then on all the socials, it's Madwolf Columbus is the handle. And yeah, we've got mainly movie reviews. That's how it started, and then we branched out, do a little music. I do a weekly thing where I dig up an old ticket stub from an old concert, talk about that. But we just get into whatever pops up, and we're into movies mainly, but podcasting, and then we have once a week here in Columbus we go on local TV and do movie reviews for a local show called Good Day Columbus. So a little bit of all different platforms.
Yeah, and we made a movie. We made a feature film 2 years ago called Obstacle Corpse.
I see the poster.
Yeah. And we've made 8 or 9 short films as well. And we do the one podcast, the Screening Room, that we do every week is the week's new releases. We also have a podcast called Fright Club, and it's a horror specific podcast. So it's like a top 5 list, top 5 of any type of category, best Japanese horror movies, or best, vampire movies, or, best deaths on a toilet. That was one.
We've done that.
We get pretty nichey, and once a month we do that podcast live at a theater in town in Columbus, the Gateway Film Center, which is on Ohio State campus. So we record the podcast live. We talk about 5 movies, and then we screen one of the movies from the list. And we've been doing that for like 11 years, which is really crazy but very fun.
That's awesome. So talking about like different themes, the one of them I was watching not too long ago that you had on there was attics. So like the movies that had some type of theme or tie into an attic scene.
Yeah.
That was a scary movie. So that's kind of fun to you can find some different ways to dig into some of your favorite movies.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it.
And everybody likes countdowns.
Yeah.
So
oh, absolutely.
just count down 5. Sometimes we go 6, but usually it's top 5, and then one of them that we show that night. So yeah, we've had fun with it.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. So not to go like too deep into anything, but like, did the love of movies bring the two of you together, or did you both have the love of it before you met?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Sure.
We did separately, and we actually met at a restaurant that we were both working at years ago, and then just got to know our shared interests, and movies is definitely one of those. Yeah.
And
nice.
then I started writing movie reviews for an independent weekly newspaper here in Columbus called The Other Paper, and George was on the radio, and there were screenings like every Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I had a full-time job and couldn't get to those screenings. And so I was like, because George was on the radio, was on the morning show at the time. And so he was done by that time. I'm like, what about George? And so maybe like 1 or 2 years after I started the newspaper, then George started the newspaper doing the same thing, reviewing movies. And we've just done it ever since then.
Nice.
Yeah, we did that up until they shut the paper down in 2012, I believe. It was a weekly, like alt weekly, and they shut it down, I think, in 2012. And then we were having too much fun doing it, and we were too passionate to stop. So that's when we launched the website.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very good. I'm just going to do a quick run through. I saw a couple of people just saying hi. I'm just going to say hey really quick. We got Adrian James in here saying hello to everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Adrian.
We got Johnny. Sorry. I'm thinking Jeff, another good friend of ours that we are friends with. But Johnny, what's Johnny watching? Saying, what's up, cool kids?
Hey, thank you.
He'll give me a hard time because I called him the wrong name. But, Johnny was saying just subbed. So there you go for Hope.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's always good. Like I said, so many of the times it's just hard to get in front of new people. On this whole crazy thing, and maybe we'll dig into that a little bit too, your YouTube journey and the podcast journey. But I know I'm relatively really new with it all still, but it just seems like it's just get in front of that next person, and I don't know, size I am, everyone counts, I'll take everyone as a great one to have. So
same.
We got Patrick in here, have Cheetah will views and meow. He loves his cat. He's got his cheetah is his cat.
Oh, nice.
Ours is down here at my feet.
Okay.
She's sleeping soundly.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Snore later.
Well, you might hear my dog barking later too. I got about 100-pound yellow lab that.
Nice.
He's a big crazy boy. He's not a mean bone in his body, but he's a ball of crazy. I'll say that
What's
for
his
sure.
name?
What's that?
What's his name?
Jax. Jax.
Nice.
Yep. The kids decided the name. We said they could pick that, and they were searching things when we got him. He's about 8 years old now. And it was always kind of funny because then some people, I didn't put it together yet, but some people said, your kids named him? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you let them watch Sons of Anarchy? And I go, no, why? And they're like, well, that's the main character in there. So anyway, that's probably why the name was popular at the time. It was probably when it was newer. But yes, Jax is... Nice. Is our big crazy boy. So, quick question before we dive into some of the other things. I know you're doing, and we'll get into like, you've talked about the screening room, the Fright Club, making movies, that's crazy. To me, in my mind, is like, that's amazing. And I do want to dig into that. But do you ever watch anything just for fun, or is everything now to just review? And I don't mean that in a bad way, but do you always feel like it's work, or like the two of you just like, let's just watch this, to have fun kind of a thing?
Totally understand it. Not very often.
It's hard to do.
We do. We watch a movie, at least one movie every day, and we both have jobs, but we do periodically.
Yeah. The biggest thing, it's reminded me of that because you brought up Sons of Anarchy. The biggest thing we can't do is watch TV.
No,
I'm the same way.
There are so many great shows out there, and we hear from people all the time about these great shows, and I don't doubt that they're great. We just can't watch them.
I agree with you.
Zero time to watch TV.
I've had series recommended to me so many different times, and I'm like, I just don't know if I could keep up with it. Movies kind of tend to lean to my schedule.
Exactly.
So I can completely relate with that 100%.
Yeah. But if we're flipping around, if Jaws is on TV.
We're watching that.
When we put up the Christmas tree this year, I put on Black Christmas, and we had that on.
Oh, nice.
We decorated.
Yeah. Nice. 'Tis the season, right?
Tis the season is right.
You got to have some fun ones like that too. Like I still the other day I threw on Violent Night. You know David Harbour.
It was fun.
I still have fun with that one. And then for more recent ones, Fat Man with Mel Gibson and Walter Goggins. And
I had fun with that. Yeah.
Yep, I have fun with that one too. But yeah, you throw in some of those. The Christmas horror movies, which one I really need to go see, and I saw you doing a quick review or out of the theater reaction on was the new Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
That's one I want to go see pretty badly.
Good.
It was.
That's what I heard.
It's easily the best of the whole series, and I know there's a small segment of us who really do enjoy that first movie, even though I think even we have to admit it's not very good.
It's fun though.
Very solid film.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I was so surprised by how much I liked it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people give some comments of giving some nods or winks to the original, but doing their own thing a little bit too, and kind of doing a nice balance between doing the two of those. So I will definitely have to check that out. So you're talking about watching a movie a day and you're putting out for your screening room. That's weekly, right? That you're doing reviews for movies.
Yeah.
So watching that many movies and talking about them, trying to put out a video each week, is that a blessing or a curse? Or it's a mixed bag?
Because we do still write reviews. And
on the website,
and then our reviews are carried. There's a website in Columbus called Columbus Underground, and they're a news site, and they carry our written reviews. And then there's a review out of England actually called Ginger Nuts of Horror, and they carry our horror reviews. I mean, our written reviews are carried by like 60 radio station websites. I mean, a lot. If so, and that they can take a while. The written ones can.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's a lot.
We try to write them. There are sometimes, like, say, if a movie opens and we don't get the chance to see it early, we get to see most of them early. If we don't, then we have to just go see it, and maybe we don't have time to write it.
Right.
So we'll just put it on the podcast or do a quick video. But we try to write reviews because that's how we started.
Yeah.
We try to write them if at all possible.
So I'm sure you got to have a little fun with it, but is it still fun for you? Do you still have the magic of going to the movies and seeing it? And
I'm sure we wouldn't do it if it wasn't.
I just always wonder, even me diving into, I'm not doing anything near the level of what the two of you are doing, like time commitment and everything like that. But you always kind of wonder, like, do I want to take something I really love and is a hobby of mine and not cross over to the point where it's more work than fun kind of thing?
Yeah.
So, I can understand that, but no, we
still having fun with it.
Yeah, and I'm passionate about it, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I think we definitely still have fun.
Yeah,
with it.
And the thing about the podcast and then now the videos is that it's it keeps it new. You're not just it never becomes sort of a formula because you're just changing up the way you. And I think honestly, a lot of ways. They improve each other. Like if I were to do a video quickly right out of the theater, well then in my head I've already sort of solidified what are the main points. So I've kind of then got an outline for a review by the time I get home because I know, okay, here are the main points that we need to hit. So in a lot of ways, I think each one improves the other a little bit.
Yeah. So and maybe it's a combination, but do you there's only so many hours a day and you both have other things that you're working on and are busy with. So do you kind of divide and conquer some of those reviews and go and see the movies or do you ever have any that it's a collab, like the two of you go into it together?
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
I think that there's always, every week there are at least a couple that only one of us sees and the other doesn't, so that we can split up. And then every week there's at least one or two that we both see. We'll both go see. So Bradley Cooper's new one is this thing on that comes out this week, and we both saw that. And then also we'll both see The Housemaid for this week. Fire and Ash. To be honest with you, I just didn't want to see it. I just did not want to see it.
Not your thing.
You saw that. You saw that one. You know.
But then a lot of times, if it's a big blockbuster, we'll write it together as well.
Yeah.
Something like, say, Frankenstein, when that came out, we
we
both were very hyped up for it.
Yeah. Superman we wrote together.
So sometimes we'll write them together.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, I really like that. That was a surprise to me. That was really a beautiful
But
movie.
There are others that come up where it's just so obviously one of us should take it. Like if it's a movie musical, she doesn't like musicals.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's a movie musical, like the Merrily We Roll Along just came out, so that was going to be mine.
Yeah,
so sometimes there are just certain areas. Well, you take that.
Yeah. So you're taking one for the team, and then I got the next one.
Maybe you know more about it, whatever it might be. Yeah.
So do you ever find yourself like going back to the other and being like, oh, you got to check this out, or don't waste your time, you're good?
Oh yeah. Well, especially now at this time of year, because we have to put together the year-end lists, like the best movies of the year, the best horror movies. We do both of those lists. And so, George reviewed Train Dreams earlier.
I want to see that one. So I have not seen that one yet.
And I wasn't able to go. Like there was a nighttime screening, and then there was a screening someplace else. So we had to split up for those. And he, it was clearly going to make his top 5 of the year list. So that was one that I was going to have to see.
I've heard.
Same thing with the new Knives Out. George screened that, and I did not screen it. And he was like, "Yeah, you should watch it so we know if it's going to make the final list." So that happens a lot.
Yeah. Then she had one that she watched called Sentimental Value.
Yeah.
She said you really need to watch. So I watched that the other morning. And there's a couple that we still have to catch up on each other's best of list before we put our heads together. So
cool.
Yeah.
When you just since you're talking about it right there, but when your year-end wrap-ups, your top of the year, when do you usually put that out for people to watch for that on the channel?
Well, that's a good question. We will
not to put you on the spot.
No, we just got done. We finalized our top 10 horror, and I made a little video for it. We haven't published it yet.
So, but we'll do a proper Fright Club and a video Fright Club, like a full video podcast of that list, and that'll probably be all next week because it's done.
Yeah, it's coming soon.
Yeah,
and then the top of the year will probably be.
It probably won't be the week before Christmas because too many movies will come out. It'll probably be the week after Christmas because there will only be 2 movies out that week, so we have plenty of time to do it. So probably the last week of the year for the regular screening top 10 list.
But we have to firm them up because we're members of the Critics' Choice Association, so they have their awards, so we have to get our nominations and everything in line, and then we also have here in Columbus we have our own Columbus Film Critics Association, so we have to get those awards. So you're always keeping spreadsheets, and she's great with the spreadsheets. She's a spreadsheet pro.
You just got to have at least one person in the house that can take care of that stuff, right? That keeps you in line. And
our nominations and everything.
That's awesome.
Keeping lists. So it's this time of year especially. Gets a little hairy, but it's fun.
Yeah. I was going to say it keeps you busy, right?
Do you have a favorite movie from this year?
I'm just bringing up. So this year I was trying to get out to the theater more often. So that was one of my goals for the year. And I definitely have, not as much as I wish I could. It's just been a very busy year with nothing bad, but just like some big family events. You know how it goes, like life, work, and
life.
I live out in the country, and so it's not like horrible far, but it's like a hour round trip, to the theater and back. So, you got to plan your time a little bit. But that being said, I was just bringing up my list of what I've watched in the theater this year. And I tell you what, and I was going to ask you maybe if there was any that really jumped out and surprised you so far this year reviewing. But one that was, we have mystery movie nights at our theater where they don't tell you what it is.
Right.
But it's like $5 or $6 for a ticket, and it's on a Monday night, which is probably one of their slower nights, but it usually comes out a week or 2 ahead of time. And all it will tell you is the rating. It will give you a run time that it's not longer than, but they don't give you the exact run time. And they'll specifically say if it's a horror movie or not, just to make sure people know what they're getting into, kind of a thing. One of the last mystery movies I went to was Dust Bunny. With Mads Mikkelsen. And I had so much fun with that. I like Mads Mikkelsen anyway.
Same.
I'll watch anything that he's in. He's had so many great films, but that one surprised me. I didn't know what to expect. I had heard just a little bit about it. I didn't know that was going to be the mystery movie, but when that came on, anyway, I had a blast with that one. So I'll say that was a nice surprise for this year.
Loved it.
If you like Mads Mikkelsen, you have to. What's with the writers? What was that one he was in?
Yeah, the Riders of Justice.
Riders of Justice.
I have seen that. seen that. Yep, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Oh, the one I have not watched yet that what is it now? I'm horrible about remembering things, especially on live streams. I'll like blank out really quick. But I have seen Riders of Justice, and I agree. I really enjoyed that one. There was a what was it called? Now I'm completely blanking on it. The Salvation. It's like a Western.
Oh, I saw that. I love it.
I've not seen that one yet, and that was one that I've wanted to try to get checked off the list. But,
we loved Dust Bunny. It was so gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So crazy to look at, and Sigourney Weaver was such a blast in that movie.
Does it look like sometimes you see an actor or an actress like that are like they're just having a blast? It looks like
that's exactly what it was.
She was like eating it up. She's like, I'm gonna be the over the top evil, or whatever, or am I evil? Am I not evil? Kind of
about it, you know? Yeah, that was. I really enjoyed it.
I thought she was great. Mads Mikkelsen, I always enjoy him. And I'm blanking on her name, but the young lady,
Sophie Sloan. She
did a great job. That personality that she brought to that, I thought was hilarious. I don't know why. I really loved it. But the beautiful thing with that, I thought the colors, the imagery that they gave, but like it was mixing what's real and what's in the girl's imagination, and I thought they did a very creative, especially not to give anything away, but there's like an alley fight scene.
Yes. Glorious.
Yeah. You see like both perspectives, it seems like throughout that thing. So there's like some things like that they used in it that I was like, it's really creative. And you're even like, what's real and what's not, kind of a thing too. Yeah. So even towards the end, I was still wondering about some things, but no, that one you could just tell. So I'm going to get to your stuff that you're doing too, but I want to get, but isn't it crazy how much detail like somebody probably puts into that movie? There's so many things that you probably don't. Me just sitting down and watching it at the theater, I'm not thinking like somebody sat down and was like, this is what the character needs to wear. This fits their character. This does this. This will portray in this scene. We need to portray this type of emotion or whatever. And every little detail that's just like one of those films. I think that they had a lot of people really looking down to each little nitty gritty thing to have it fit.
That's one of the movies that'll make you think that, because like the set design, the costume design, it was so eye catching. And so the costume design was so specific. It told you so much about each character. It's not like, just a variety of sweatshirts and jeans or something. I mean, very, very thoughtful about every detail visually in that movie.
And I'll say that too. Like there was a lot of let's say the background that's kind of almost drab, kind of darker colors, but some of the characters had very bright wardrobe that they wore, and especially the little girl, like some of the, like that alleyway scene. I loved the costume and the mask and the things that she wore in that. There was just a lot of things where they would have these pops of colors in this. So you could tell they were doing a darker, this is a serious kind of thing, but then they would do these pops of color and humor too, like throughout the thing.
Yeah.
But,
same with Frankenstein. I mean, set design and costume design of Frankenstein.
That's a beautiful.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro. You're like, I expect it from him, I was surprised about that one. I didn't know what it was going to go, but I always get nervous, so I don't know if you ever get that. So probably a great thing when you get to see things ahead of time. Maybe you don't have a lot of hype, behind the movie, and you can kind of go into it pretty blank, like a fresh slate. Sometimes, I should say, not in a bad way, But do you ever get where? So Frankenstein was one for me that people were building up so much, I was almost afraid of being let down when it still could be a great movie, but it's been put up here, And anyway, do you like to avoid talking about it at all ahead of time? And do you prefer the early screenings to avoid stuff like that, or does it not bother you?
Yeah, I like to go in fresh.
We prefer the early screenings, sure. And a lot of times we do get them. We watch them at home. They'll send us links to watch it. More convenient for them.
Yeah.
But still love seeing things on the big screen when it all.
Well, Frankenstein was screened on the big screen.
Yeah.
I'd have been mad if it hadn't. That was so gorgeous.
I wish I could have. I'm in a small market, and I don't even know if it was in the theater around me. If it was such a short. There's some of them that they get pulled so fast.
They do. No, we're very lucky here in Columbus. We have some great theaters, independent theaters, and we're spoiled.
Yeah.
And we know it.
I love that. I wish I could have more of that. My theater that I get to go to usually, I enjoy it very much, but if it's not a big tentpole movie, you better get out there pretty quick, because you don't know if it's going to make it past a week or not. And some even a week. It seems like with some of them. So that happened to me with, not to go back into a further one, but Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, sure.
Was one that I really enjoyed. That one. It was, I don't even know if it was in there for a week, and I didn't even hear about that one until other friends that I like to follow on YouTube were talking about it, and they're like, you better get out and see this thing. I looked it up, and it was in one more night at my theater, and I ran out to see it.
Wow.
And that one, I actually was the only person in the entire theater of it. So I always joke about that one because I got a little freaked out. I'm not afraid to admit that. And I went all the way to the back row to put my back against the wall. I was, I'm not too proud to admit that, but it was a great movie, and maybe that added to the.
It was fun, that.
Absolutely. I'm going to do a run through really quick. I see a few other people just jumping in here. Patrick was saying also subbed up to y'all, so love it. Thank you. We always say share the love around. Go check everybody out, and you can say it doesn't cost you anything. You might find your next favorite channel. I always like to say I'm a broken record. I always say that, but it's true. It's just getting out in front of other people.
You bet. Exactly.
Got Anthony in here asking how we're all doing today.
Doing great. Thank you.
Got Mr. Holland Oates in here saying good evening.
Love that.
Yeah, we always joke. It's official for a live stream when you see Holland Oates jump into the... Got Mr. Eli Cortez in here saying, what's up, everyone?
Hi, Eli.
And he's throwing out your link there. Thank you, Eli, very much. Everybody can grab that out of the chat, or like I said, in the description of the this live stream, the video, and even later. Definitely click on that, check them out, sub up, and see what you're missing out on. But we got some highs back and forth. We got Deleted Seeds in here saying hello.
Hello,
sir. All right. And we got Roswell Chalinsky in here saying hello.
Like that name?
I know. I always wish I would have come up with a more creative name when I set up my channel, but hey, this is where I'm at right now.
That's right. It works.
Deleted Scenes was saying too, subbed up to y'all. So I love it.
Thank you.
I love seeing that. So maybe we kind of answered this already, but like any recent surprises that you've had in movies, good or bad, that you
well, we talked about being surprised that Silent Night, Deadly Night was as good as it was.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. No, that's perfect.
That was one because I really don't like the original.
Yeah.
Really don't.
So this one totally redeemed it for you.
Yeah, I was
a lot of
quite
fun.
surprised. That's the biggest surprise here lately. I was also surprised, even though the trailer made me think it was going to be bad. I wasn't prepared for how bad Ella McKay was.
Yeah.
Ella McKay was awful. And with all the talent involved, I was sorry to say it.
Yeah.
But it was one of the worst I've seen this year. So that was disappointing and surprising.
Yeah.
I gotcha. No, absolutely. Hope any others you want to throw out there? Or you're good with the.
It's funny. It's not recent, but but Silent Night, Deadly Night made me think of it. Is that earlier this year, Macon Blair rebooted The Toxic Avenger.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Amazing.
Okay.
It was so much fun. It was so spot on in terms of the tone, the humor, the goopiness of the movie. The cast was crazy great. In Trauma, that's hard because so much of what they did was so funny, and you hate to lose that sort of sensibility, but at the same time, so much of what they did was so foul, and it doesn't translate that well to modern times. And Nathan Blair just really found the right groove be funny and fun and irreverent in the same Troma way without sort of, punching down. And I loved it. So, and I love Peter Dinklage. He's so good in everything. And it was such a weird idea, but I loved it.
And it was one that we were really looking forward to and didn't want to get let down.
Yeah.
And it was great that we weren't let down.
Yeah.
So
that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. So a good surprise. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. I think no matter what, if you know anything about a movie when you're going into it, no matter how small it is, you have some type of probably preconceived notion. It's impossible not to have a little leaning probably one way or the other, but it's great when you're wrong and you're like, oh yeah, that was fun. So that being said, like going in and being surprised about movies, so you're not only fans of movies, but you're film critics, you're reviewers, I'm assuming probably hear other reviews or see what other people put out there sometime. Do you have any that you kind of like question or like you see a big disconnect between just maybe a regular viewer and a critic of a movie? And if anything's changed recently, do you think? Or there's a divide?
Yeah, there definitely that happens. I think recently I was a big divide between a lot of reviewers, not all, but I saw a lot of reviewers really loved The Life of Chuck. I did not. Did not like that at all. But I see a lot of people. I like
that one.
Oh, hey.
But that's okay.
I just thought somebody said it was their favorite movie of the year.
Yeah,
so.
and that's great.
Yeah.
Everybody likes what they like. And I've seen that on a lot of people's favorite lists. So there's one that's a bit of a disconnect. But you do always see, a lot of times you'll see movies that have a disconnect between their critic score and their audience score. And that's going to happen. And that's totally fine. I mean, one thing we never do is chastise somebody because they like a certain movie.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Love what you love.
Love what you love.
It's too hard to be happy. Like, just if you love something, that's awesome.
That's right. Exactly right. If we put out something that we say we don't like it, and I was just talking to somebody the other day. There's a new streamer for Christmas called Oh What Fun. It's a Christmas comedy. I didn't like it at all. Yeah. And somebody said, "Oh, I had a good time with that." I'm like, "Great! I'm glad you did."
I'm glad you did. Yeah.
Glad you did.
Well, like the Avatar movies are incredibly popular. And I sat through the second one, and I'm like, nothing is going to get me into 3.5 hours of like a really pretty screensaver. No.
I love that.
So
pretty.
I can go. So there you go.
Go.
And I'm not going to, one of our dear friends, Kat McAlpine, her favorite movie of all time is the original Avatar. And I would never, and so many people, that's the case. I actually, to be honest with you, I hated the first one. So I'm not the intended audience. I get it.
And that's the thing. It's like, not every movie is going to hit people the same way. And that's not any threat to me if you don't like the one I liked or, or vice versa.
Exactly.
And,
like Five Nights at Freddy's, 2.
That was one.
Right. That was one that, I went to see it. I reviewed it, but I'm aware the whole time I'm not the target audience for this movie. I've never played this video game. I'm not 12 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen every horror movie that's ever come out, so nothing on the screen is going to scare me in any way. But it's not intended to entertain me. That's not, and they don't have to, right?
Right.
So, but I didn't love it, but I'm not sure how valid that opinion is since they didn't make it for me.
Well, it's your opinion. That's okay. So for you, that is perfectly valid. So you both, it sounded like when we were talking about, you both had a love of movies before starting all this up too. But have you found a lot of difference in the way obviously maybe how much you're watching, but how you watch it? Has that, if you feel like it changed how you go into a movie theater and sit down and watch a movie with the writing, the videos, the podcast, if you're just going in with a different mindset when you go sit down?
Oh yeah. I think we we don't disagree on movies too often. I mean, on total ends of the spectrum. most of the time when we disagree, it's in various of degrees. Like I liked it this much, or I didn't like it this much. But even so, I think we approach it differently. We each have our things that we look for, or things that hit us in a certain way. But I think I usually maybe take more notes than you do. Just different ways, but we normally agree.
Yeah. Or did you mean do we see movies differently now than we did, say, when we were 15?
Well, I guess both. Yeah, both. Yeah.
Because I do think that the longer you do it, part of it is, we've just seen thousands of movies, and so you just learn from them. And so, you can see, for example, in watching Dust Bunny, I just kept thinking it was such a sort of a lovely mix of Guillermo del Toro and Wes Anderson. Like it was the sort of this macabre wonder of a Guillermo del Toro film with the whimsy, like the childlike whimsy of a Wes Anderson movie. And I thought, what a fascinating blend of things.
Yeah.
I would still have loved the movie if I'd seen it in high school, but I wouldn't have thought about it in that way. Like I would have appreciated, I think, the construction of it in the same way.
Yeah. And then as it goes along, you learn about things like the 3-act structure and the save the cat formula. And then you can recognize when a filmmaker knows enough of the rules to break them, and is not breaking them out of incompetence.
Yeah.
So it's just experience in almost any endeavor is going to help you, and you can look back on your knowledge of other films that you've seen, and you can tell when someone is homaging somebody else or when they're just outright ripping them off.
Right. You're like, I've seen this before. And I think we've all had those moments before too, where you're watching, you're like, I feel like I've kind of seen this one before.
Yeah.
Or a combination of a couple movies I've seen before. But when you're going through and watching all these now, so you're watching so many of them, you're reviewing them every week. Do you feel that you have a genre of movie that you're a little more forgiving of? So when you're going in and watching them, do you have any that you're like, I'll give it a little bit more of a break? Maybe it's not saying it's your favorite genre, but if one you kind of lean to that you'll give some breaks to.
Yeah, horror movies. Yeah. Horror movies. I love horror movies.
Yeah, that's kind of our niche. And I'm always quick to say I love a heist movie.
That's true. I just love a heist movie.
And for a heist movie to just outright bore me, I mean, it's got to be bad, because heist movies for me are inherently fun.
Yeah.
And when they're not, like say the latest Now You See Me, then
I haven't seen that one.
It's just bad, because I think you've got me halfway on board already.
That's right.
It's a heist movie.
You're already interested without even watching it yet, so no, that's interesting. But it's I always find that you have some that are kind of have a soft spot in your heart.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'll let that slide on that one.
What's funny about that, though, is that two of the very best films of the year this year are horror movies, because Sinners is a masterpiece.
I enjoyed that one very much.
Everything about it, the writing, the set design, the performances, the music, I mean, everything about that movie, it couldn't be better, and Frankenstein is another one. It's just there, and we had a really great run last year. We had Nosferatu and The Substance. I know that I am a little soft on horror films. I know that I am, but there's nothing that is more exciting for me than to see like an honest to God masterpiece, or like just, Ryan Coogler did not have to decide for his first fully original film, right? Not a sequel, not a franchise, not based on true events, just fully original. It didn't have to be a vampire movie,
right.
And he chose to make a genre film, which was just, for me, for a horror fan, incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
And I almost felt like also putting a little twist on the vampire story too. Like we've how many vampire movies have we seen? But I feel like it felt different. It felt different.
And vampires are just like zombies. Vampires are almost always metaphorical for something, and this one it was for colonization and white supremacy, and it worked so perfectly. And what he did, some of the scenes were as original as anything I've ever seen in a film. It was just glorious.
It was great. So, horror is is our number one. And I'm also a big fan of true life adventures.
Yeah, he
Oh, okay.
Whether documentaries
Yep.
or a narrative of it, like true life of survival, things like that. I love those.
So do you have any that, not saying it doesn't have to be your favorite ever, but any that you're like, oh, if somebody was like, oh, you like those, what's something you'd recommend out of that category?
It just popped into my head when you mentioned it. It was several years ago. There was a movie called Maiden Trip about a young girl who sailed around the world.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. And then I think it was several years ago.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and just fascinating to see what this girl did on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that. Mount Everest movies I love. Mountain climbing.
Tremendous sucker for Mount Everest movies.
Sucker for those.
I was gonna say you got a few to choose from. I think.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah,
there are documentaries and both narrative films. So yeah, I like those as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, what was the one? It's just making me think of it. It's a kind of a documentary, or not kind of a documentary, but it's going through like past film things and like current interviews. But I want to say it's called The Alpinist, or have you ever seen that? Alpinist? Is that?
Yeah,
that's like Alpinist.
That sounds familiar.
The Alpinist. It was 2021. Yeah, I just found it here. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but it's a real life story of a free climber, mountain climber. He would do the like no ropes type of climbing up I'm blanking on his name right now, but if you get into stuff like that, I kind of wonder if you would like that one.
There's the other one about the free solo.
Yes.
Won the Oscar, which was incredible.
Yep.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That's up my alley for sure.
Yeah. I'll agree that. So that's like especially when it's like real life and things that were happening and have happened. It brings a different level of intensity to it as well. For sure. It's real. So, so leaning into horror, you've said that's kind of like the soft spot, like where you like to go into it. So leaning into your Fright Club, what's that all about? Like, let us know what, how often, and like what's your focus of the Fright Club?
The goal when we started was to draw people's attention to incredibly great horror movies that they probably missed. So not like the so bad it's good, but like brilliant, amazing horror movies that you probably never saw. Like Lucky McKee's The Woman, or the film Calvaire, or Shaitan, or The Loved Ones, right? Like,
oh yeah, I've seen that one. Okay, out of all those, but maybe they just didn't get a wide release in the U.S. or even if they were in the U.S., just across the U.S.
Yeah. And there are so many. I mean, there are so many. And but we like. I mean, I compulsively watch horror films. And good and bad, George likes the good. I watch them all.
I always joke that you don't know the good unless you've seen the bad, right? You got to have something to compare it to, right? So. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's okay. So we, the live event, the focus was always, we get it once a month, and so I try to choose 12 great movies that I think almost no one has ever seen on a big screen that they really need to. And then we build a podcast around those. And my favorite thing ever is when we ask the crowd, how many of you have seen the movie, and no one has seen it. Like, that is the most exciting moment for me.
Happens every now and then.
It does happen. It does happen every now and then.
Yeah. When you have that feeling you're sharing something, that, like this little secret that you have, and you're like, I love this little secret I have. And you're like, I get to share it with all these people. That's very cool.
More often than not, the crowd likes them.
Yes.
There have been occasions where they did not go over well at all.
Yes.
Sometimes we're surprised. Yeah. Because other times we go in and think, boy, I don't know. How's this going to be received? And they love it.
Yeah.
But there have been a few times where I'm thinking Hagazusa was one.
Yeah. People did not like Hagazusa.
Did not like Hagazusa.
Which made me sad because I love that movie.
Yeah.
There's another one. It's a Polish killer mermaid musical called The Lure, and it's glorious. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
That sounds like a lot wrapped up in that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's great though, and on the whole, people liked it, but one person was just like, no,
Not from
no,
Nope.
and
Yeah.
and chose to come down because then we get a crowd reaction at the end of the podcast. Yeah, he chose to share that.
And we've had a few occasions where people were angry.
Oh yeah, we showed Wake and Fright.
See, I wouldn't get angry, but see, I don't know. That's interesting. It's funny how people react with things like that. You don't always expect everybody to love everything that you love. So you might be disappointed to be like, oh, I was really excited to show you this, and maybe it's just not for them. I can understand that, but to get angry about it,
Well,
I think it's kind of funny.
Horror though.
It's a passionate group.
Well, and sometimes, people they're trusting you, you know what I mean? Like, you're not always safe watching a horror movie. And so there have been a couple times where people just, I think, felt like they should have been warned. Although, to be fair,
We
did it. When we showed Martyrs,
Oh, yeah.
we made up little merit badges. So people knew. We're like, if you stay till the end, you get a merit badge.
Yeah.
If you don't stay till the end, we got it. We're fine with that. So
Not all horror movies are at the same intensity level.
we try to run the gamut.
Yeah.
We do horror comedy sometimes.
Yeah.
Something like
thriller, something more like a
Lawn
thriller.
of the Dead,
Yeah,
something like that.
That's a great one.
That's fun. Grabbers.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
Oh,
fun.
Grabbers is a fun one. Yeah, I have that back there. Yeah.
So we'll do some fun things like that. What's the one with the sheep?
Black Sheep.
Black Sheep.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that
Awesome.
one.
Yeah. It's a New Zealand splatter comedy. They're
Zombie.
famous for their splatter comedies, and George hates all New Zealand splatter comedies. Black Sheep. So,
That's the exception, or
Right.
it's really funny. It's really funny and very bloody.
But then we'll do really, really nasty stuff like Inside or
Yeah.
Martyrs
Yeah.
or really
push the limits a little bit.
the limits. So yeah. And then once in a while, because we are lucky to be here and have this great home base at the Gateway Film Center, once in a while it lines up where we get a premiere of something where the programmers will come and say, hey, I know you usually do your thing, but we've got a chance to show this movie early. Do you want it to be a Fright Club? So we'll jump on that. That happens every now and then.
The Long Walk.
The Long Walk
Yeah,
was our premiere. We got
okay.
Yeah, we got to
So-
open that.
I did get to see that one too.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job with that. I thought that was going to be a super boring movie. I'll be honest, right off the bat.
They did a good job.
They did a good job with it. Yep.
And,
Great writing.
Yeah, it's a tough movie to
Tough
film
one.
because
Oh yeah.
there's not a lot of flashbacks.
You're like, you're walking.
yeah,
Okay.
there's not a lot of action. There's not,
But I think the dialogue and the character development really
really good
just
performances.
put
too.
that.
It was
Up
well
there.
done. So
Yeah.
we'll do that every now and then. Then also every now and then we'll have a special event. Like there was one year where we had the opportunity to show a restored 4K version of Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th.
Oh, nice.
We're
Nice.
not going to walk away from that.
No.
No, yeah. that just sounds like a lot of fun right there.
Yeah.
So, and that's like one a lot of people have nostalgia for too. So it's kind of like,
yeah.
Sure.
you
Actually, it was funny.
That was
and
a
I think
no-brainer.
yeah,
we're the film center is on Ohio State campus. It's right across High Street from Ohio State. We had a whole bunch of like young college students who'd never seen it ever. And they came, and it was so funny to talk to them afterwards on the podcast because like there were 5 or 6 who were like, Jason's not in this movie.
I don't know how many times I've like talked to younger people that had never seen it, and then they finally see it, and they're like, "Did I watch the right movie?" Kind of a thing. But I was like, "No, that's the original.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep. But it's cool when you see some younger people, I think, whether they've never seen it before or they never had the chance to see it on a big screen.
Right, sure.
And that's a cool thing too. Like our theater, they'll do every once in a while some kind of throwback screenings of movies every once in a while. So I was pointing out my poster with They Live, that was last year. That was one I finally got to see on the big screen because I never got to before. Definitely seen it many times before, but it's just different going in to the theater and seeing it. So that's very cool. Do you have any leanings on horror? Like sometimes I know some people are like, either love or hate like supernatural horror or love or hate realistic horror. I know somebody will watch, you named off Martyrs and a few other things like that. They'll watch anything like that, but if it's a home invasion movie, they will not touch the thing, or something like that. So, do you have any you lean towards subgenres or categories of horror that you enjoy a lot?
I think we both enjoy folk horror a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like psychological things. Like one of the ones that I love that sometimes gets polarizing is I love It Comes at Night.
I have not seen that one yet.
I love it. And there's a good friend of ours who's a big horror fan that hates it.
Yeah, hates it.
So for very reasons that I love it. So I'm not a big slasher guy. I know a lot of people are, and that's great. It's just not my thing. I tend to like things that make me, work on my mind instead. Mm-hmm. Like I don't care at all for the Terrifier series. That bores me senseless.
I honestly have not watched one of them yet. So, and not necessarily on purpose, but I just haven't gotten to any. I've seen clips from them.
It's hugely popular, and I love that. I love when a horror movie like that is doing the business.
Yeah.
So, okay, I love that point you made right there. So definitely, and we're going to get into it too, as long as we have time. Want to talk about you getting into filmmaking, but so maybe diving into that. Do you ever find it curious when you have movies that maybe you don't care for it at all, but you're a champion for that because you're like, I love seeing somebody that's not a tentpole franchise movie, maybe coming out of nowhere and, especially maybe starting off kind of independent or really independent and kind of having a series go through. So do you ever have any of those? So maybe Terrifier would be one of them, but do you find that weird to be like, I'm a champion, I want you to keep doing this because that helps us all kind of
another one, because that the same year, Skinamarink came out.
Oh, I've heard so many things.
Polarizing. And he made that for so little money and it made so much money. And I think that, whether you like those movies or you don't, what it does is draws attention to the fact that independent horror movies can make a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons that more horror movies get made than anything else is for that reason. You can make horror. You can't make sci-fi for no money, right? Yeah. It's very hard. You can make horror movies for very little money, and horror has a built-in audience larger than any other. Like, people, you can make a drama for not a lot of money, but there are no drama cons out there. Nobody's lining up to get their photo taken with somebody from a drama from the 90s, Yep. But you can be like a passing horror fan and still want to have your picture taken with Pinhead, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when you get these tiny, tiny independent movies that take off like Terrifier and Skinamarink, it reminds people with money to back films that they should be backing independent horror movies. And so that's a benefit to all of us filmmakers.
Well, there's so many points in there that I love. But like, also, do you think that's such a great thing you want to champion too? Because maybe there's some young filmmakers that are coming up that are like, how can I do this? And maybe you can do a grassroots thing and start making some short films or,
for sure.
but like seeing something like that isn't coming from a gigantic major studio and it's not. And I love superhero movies, but it's, it's not the next Marvel or DC movie or something. Right. It's something maybe completely original. You get a new story and somebody that they're scrapping money together and they're doing it how they can. And maybe that's like helping some imaginations and some younger kids to be like, yeah, I could maybe do this dream that I think would be fun to do.
Yeah.
I could maybe do this.
You know what I think? I think the smartest thing you can do if you aspire to be a filmmaker is to volunteer at or attend film festivals. There are, wherever you live, like just Google it. There are film festivals somewhere near you. And the biggest thing, first of all, you'll watch movies, you'll watch low budget movies that are good enough to get into festivals. And that's a benefit right there. You're going to figure out what you could be doing, but you're also going to meet independent filmmakers.
Yep.
And you'll get to know independent filmmakers and they'll get to know you and they're going to need PAs. And then after you PA, they're going to need grips and you're going to learn how to do it from the time you're young. And you're going to learn who sucks and who doesn't suck. So you're going to know which people to avoid moving on and who you'd like to work with again, which is a big deal because making an independent film is the hardest thing in the history of all the world to do. It's
Hardest thing we've done.
grueling like you can't imagine. And the last thing you need is to have dumbasses working with you, right? Like you want to have other people who are committed, who are just decent human beings, working with you when you do something hard. And so to get to know some of those people before you commit is a good idea.
Well, I can only imagine that money and time is tight, and you can't mess around. And if somebody flakes out on you, that could be more than just a little hiccup. And
it could be the end of your movie. Your movie
right.
couldn't just not exist.
You got to keep on. I want to dive into that part of your story. I'm just going to say really quick of a few other people that was making some comments of some movies here. Deleted Seeds says, I've heard so much bad press about Ella McKay that kind of want to see it. Roswell was saying, thanks for the review. Loved the first Toxic Avenger. I'll check it out. Deleted Scenes was saying Life of Chuck was a surprise. We have Sashi in here saying greetings, everyone.
Hey, hello.
Good to see you. Deleted was also jumping in Martyrs. He's like, yikes. Well done, but a real MFer to get through.
It's hard. Yeah, it's a tough one.
And then we had some love for from Eli for Black Sheep. Saying it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
it's so funny. It's so funny.
So I want to dive into this part of your story without keeping you the whole evening. But the cool thing is, so I first came across you on your YouTube channel and started watching your, so I'd say the first things I ran across was the screening room, your reviews. And then I got in, saw some of your Fright Clubs. Like I said, I was recently watching the Attic one, I was like, that's fun. Like you are coming up with, still having some fun conversations about real movies that you enjoy, but like tying them together, like with a little common theme. But then a nice surprise, digging further, lo and behold, you don't only watch movies and review movies and talk about movies, but you're making movies, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were talking about one of the hardest things in your life that you've done work-wise has been putting together an independent film. And I don't know if you want to, I'd love to hear more about this. I don't know. I know that could be like a whole live stream in itself, but
the feature film, Obstacle Corpse, that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Which we've only done one feature. That's
well, that's one more than I've done. So.
And it's streaming now, by the way, on Tubi. And,
I have it marked. I will admit I have not watched it yet, but I do have it. I figured out it was on Tubi, and I was like, okay, keep going. I'm going to shut up. But.
So that was incredibly hard. We've also done, you said what, 6 or 7?
Oh no, it's more like 9 short
films now.
Short films, and a bunch of those are on our YouTube channel. The only ones that aren't are the ones that are still in a festival circuit. So we have 2, one that just went into the festival circuit, and one that's just sort of ending its run. So, but they'll be on there eventually. But
so those aren't as hard because they're just shorts. But yeah, the feature film we knew it was going to be hard. We didn't know it was going to be that hard. It's so much respect for anyone that gets an independent film done. I mean, I thought that I felt that way before, and now it's tenfold.
Yeah.
Whether it was either one of you, and it can be different things too, but whether it was you or you think people looking in from the outside, what do you think is like some hard parts of independent filmmaking that people might overlook, or you maybe overlooked when you first jumped into a feature film?
I think everybody recognizes that it is hard to raise the money. It's harder than you think, but that's, everybody knows that. Like it's really hard to raise the money to make a feature film. I think just the test of endurance, like everything that has to be accomplished in the amount of time that you have. And the set still has to be a place where people are happy to be. It can't be drudgery for the cast and crew. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just create a workspace where people are miserable. So you have to work on that. And then we had every film has its own particular challenges. We shot 12 days outside. It's called Obstacle Corpse is the name of the film. And it takes place during like a mutter style race. And so we're outside, and the whole film takes place during the course of one race. So we're outside in the day. So we had to be done before it got dark every day. And we had 12 days to shoot it because the Parks and Rec, lovely, great spaces they gave us to work in, but we only had them for 12 days. At 12 days, we were done. And it poured down rain, torrential rainfall, particularly one of the days. And the thing is that if you only have 12 days to shoot 87 pages,
you got to roll with it.
You can't shoot 87 pages in 11 days.
Yeah.
So but the commitment of the crew, I mean, people were so excited, and we had very talented people. We had a good mixture of novices and veterans, and people were excited to get the chance to work on it. So, we came up, we put these poles up, we put canvas over top of the poles. And so certain scenes that were supposed to be a wide shot of this chase.
Oh, sure.
Became a very narrow shot of one like circling a big tree. And
you got to be creative.
Yeah, to be creative, but it worked out. It did. I mean, it worked out really well, but it was, and it was just exhausting. And then, you call cut at the end of the day, and there are 90 things that have to be accomplished before you get back to set the next morning at 5:45 a.m. so that you can be up and running as soon as it's daylight, because you got to be done. You get
no sleep.
None.
For those days. It's so grueling. It's exhausting physical work, and then you're lucky if you get 2 hours of sleep and you're up and doing it again. So
I can imagine, or I can't imagine, probably like the lack of sleep, but then the stress on top of that. Like you said, you have such a short amount of time, and you have so many things you're juggling to try to keep going.
We had the entire art department, 2 of the actors, and the assistant director all staying at our house.
Oh, well, that's where you got to be resourceful when you're doing an like an independent film. But so you're the hotel as well, and the caterer,
and then just things happen on the fly. Unfortunately, because we filmed it a few years ago, COVID was still out there. We had a couple of people get COVID, have to drop out. We had to make last minute cast changes, including myself. I was not supposed to be in the movie, but I had to. She said, somebody else couldn't make it. You're in.
You've been voluntold.
But it was fun. I'm glad I got to do it. It's a small part, but I got a good kill. So.
Well, at least you got to do something fun in the movie, right?
You just got to roll. No matter what it is, you got to roll, and you got to keep going.
Oh man, I can't even imagine where you even start. So when you decided this was something, so obviously you'd been making short films. You said you had other ones out there, but so you probably always maybe had the idea in your head after doing short films that someday you would maybe try to do a feature. But when you made that final step, whenever that was in the process, where did you start? What was your first besides just I want to do it? Kind of thing?
It started with the screenplay. I write. I have 2 novels out, and I write short stories and horror always. And I wrote this screenplay and liked it, and thought financially it was something that could be done. And then we just know a lot of filmmakers locally, because we don't just review movies, we cover local films. So we cover film events, film series, movies, and so we just were asking people who had done it, who would know, for some advice and some guidance. And then our friend Jason Tostovan, who is in the movie, again, he wasn't supposed to be in the movie, but he is, and he does a great job. And he runs Nightmares Film Festival, so he knows a lot of filmmakers, and you know what I mean. And so
he's a filmmaker himself.
He's a filmmaker himself, and so he was. I think that's when it really gelled. Once he came on as a producer,
that's
we
when it took
had
off.
A path forward. So I think that's really.
And then we were lucky enough to have one major contributor to the budget. That got us a good head start, and then we set about GoFundMe's and perks, and then we did a fundraiser with a local band that we know, did a concert at a local pub, just anything to raise another few dollars here.
Oh, sure.
That we got up to the budget that we had, and like Jason, our producer, said, this is the money we have. So this is what we're going to make it
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. We did have a producer early on who was more like, just spend what you need to spend, because sometimes money falls out of the sky, and we're like, okay, we got to get this guy off. And we were, we did not go over budget. We did not go over schedule, because I don't even know how that happens. I don't know how you spend money you don't have. I don't know how you spend time you don't have.
Yeah. It's like, this is what we got.
Yeah. So we made a feature film with a cast of 41 people that looks great, that has done well, and has gotten good reviews. And we made it for $60,000.
And that's not to say that we didn't have to kick in some of our own money.
Yeah,
we definitely did.
Right.
We definitely did. But we also had help and fundraisers and GoFundMes and grants. And just you scrape together what you can.
Yeah. I will add that I've been telling everybody your YouTube channel link is in the description, and the madwolf.com website is in there. I will see if I can grab a link to Tubi or something to the movie.
Awesome.
And throw that in there as well. I'd love for people to check it out. I love supporting people. I love talking about movies, but I just I've never had that creative bone in me to I'll enjoy it and I'll watch it, but I love to support where I can, whether it's, friends that I know that are artistic, and it's like, oh, you're having an art, exhibition. Like, can I buy one of them? I'd love to have one at home, it's just cool to have people that are out there doing it, and to be able to, in some little way, help out, support with that, and enjoy with it. So, but I will definitely be watching it. I'll admit, I'll never lie about things, but I got it. I have it tagged in my Tubi, and I will, I got it too late and I didn't have a chance to watch it yet, but I will be watching it. So, and I will try to add that to the description as well, so people can, if they check this out. And it's one of the hard things with live streams. Not everybody can like jump in right at the same time, but it's something I'll love to throw out later too, because it will be a video just later, out on YouTube, and throw that out for people to go back and watch it, and to, please check that out. I think that's so cool. So is that like a process too? Like, so you made the movie, where do you go from there? So after you put it in the can, so to speak, Yeah,
it is. And that was a process that we were even less familiar with. And it's scary. So the first thing that we did was to submit it to film festivals, and that's because we sort of come out of a film festival background. We've been jurors for Nightmares Film Festival for years, but both of us have been jurors for other film festivals for years as well, and so we're just sort of familiar with that process. Mm-hmm. And so we did that, and while it was in festivals, we sort of fielding options for distribution. And it is there are so many predators. I mean, it's really alarming. It's really scary. And so I feel for anybody who hasn't done it. I hadn't done it. We hadn't done it. And George mentioned spreadsheets. I didn't even know what to ask people, and I didn't know. And then they don't say the same things. So and if you're new to it, I just thought, I didn't even know what you're saying. So I had a spreadsheet. I had 10 questions. I asked everybody the exact same 10 questions, and I put their answers down. And that way I could sort of color code it like, these are the people who seem absolutely like crooks. And these are the people. And then, we got our first actual offers, contract offers. And again, we have filmmaker friends who have made independent films, who have had distribution. And they were kind enough. We had several of them who offered. They said, please let me read these. And it was really funny, because the very first one we got, we hadn't even shot yet. We hadn't even started filming yet. And somebody was offering to distribute the film for us.
Okay.
And we were like, oh, man. Like,
go for it.
I'm reading it going, this seems like, should we have to give them our firstborn? Like, this seems crazy. And we had
see something of it.
Yeah. We had a couple people say, like, these are criminals.
Yeah.
These people are criminals. Like, don't just not sign this. Like, don't respond to them in any way. Like, so, it's very scary. And I would say that the majority of people who reached out to us were predators. And so I really, really would recommend to do it anyway, but find somebody who has some experience with it, who can help you wade through these offers and, make sure that for one thing, don't ever pay anybody out of pocket anything. A distributor will not ask you for any money for anything. And if somebody does ask you to give them money, they're a predator and don't sign
Walk away.
Yeah, because we had one in particular that we had some concerns about, and they just were saying, this is standard, this is the standard. And then a friend of ours said, no, it's not. Yeah. No, it is not.
So
that's so nice to have some friends in your corner that at the very least could be like, whether it was them personally or another friend of theirs where they are like, no, it's a red flag. Walk away, kind of thing.
And I think it's another good reason if you want to get into filmmaking to, volunteer at film festivals, because then you'll get to know some people who will look at contracts and things with you. So.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know. So how crazy is that from the time you started out the whole process to me? That just seems mind blowing I can go out and search on Tubi and see your movie sitting out there. I mean, is that pretty,
it's very cool.
It's success for you. I don't know. I was trying to figure out how to say that, but
it's very cool. And we've had people like randomly just like, take a photo of their TV screen, and just send it to me. Like, hey, look what we're watching. Like,
hey, I've seen that before.
It is. It's really, really nice.
And if you watch it this time of year, even though it's set in the summertime, there is a bit of a Christmas thread.
There is a little bit.
We won't spoil anything, but there's a Christmassy thing going on.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I did watch a little trailer for it, but I was like, I knew kind of the initial premise of like the mutter tough race, kind of thing, but something a little sinister is going on with it, or very sinister going on. So now that you've done this, you made the movie, you went through all this, you've had all these experiences. Do you feel like that it's changed how you watch movies? And so when you're reviewing other movies now, do you think it's makes you harsher on movies or more forgiving with them?
There are some,
if that makes sense. I don't know.
But there are sometimes, especially with maybe an independent movie, that it makes me a little more forgiving because you kind of know what they went through. Other times you can tell like, well, this could have been an easy fix if you just did that. So it's a little bit of both. But it really, for me, when you see a movie that, like I just watched this morning, that Nouvelle Vague from Richard Linklater about the filming of Breathless from Jean-Luc Godard. It's very the art of movie making. And so those type of movies mean more to us now because we've done it.
Yeah.
And you say, oh yeah. And you feel like in some small way you're in the club.
Yeah.
It's not like we're in the club with Richard Linklater, but I mean, we have made a movie.
You've made a movie.
There are things that mean more to us now.
Yeah, I just didn't know like the whole process, especially with independent films, just talking about your struggles raising the money to do that. And then figuring out how can I make every single penny of this stretch as far as I possibly can. And where do I have to cut? Where can I splurge a little bit, and when you were watching a movie, at the festivals or anything like that, that you're like, no, I feel you. I know. Kind of a thing. And
I do remember that when we were in pre-production and people would be like, it's going to cost a couple of extra dollars. And I would stop listening. Like, okay, the answer is no.
Nope,
$2 extra dollars is too many.
Because those are our $2 extra dollars.
No.
That's got to be
those extra dollars, because if you're not,
it's gotta pull from somewhere. And then if you could find that magic place that you were saying, somebody was saying money will just fall from the sky, So, and when you find that, let me know. When you find that place, let me know. I'll come hang out with you for a little bit. Yeah, exactly. So obviously you have a big love of horror movies. This one definitely has that sinister vibe, some things going on with it. If you had to make another movie, if you were to make another movie that couldn't be a horror, do you have another genre that you think would be fun to dive into? Sorry, if it's too tough a one, we can move on to.
I feel like So when we make shorts or features, I write them. We co-wrote Druncula, the most recent one, but usually, even though they start with something I write, and I write exclusively horror. I have tried to write other things. It just doesn't come out.
Doesn't click for you.
It goes to murder. That's what I do. I kill people. So
they're walking on the beach holding hands in a sunset, and then the machete comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I kill a lot of people. I'm not gonna let it go. So it would be hard because it would have to be something I didn't write.
Right. Yeah.
You'd have to write it. What
Yeah,
would
and
you
I-
write?
well,
You'd
I-
write a
'cause
sports movie.
Yeah, probably a sports movie. But I mean, I've written over the years. I've written a couple of like comedic essays about things, but never approaching a screenplay or anything like that. I mean, I might try to do something comedic or a sports movie. I'm a huge sports fan.
I bet you could do a documentary. We could do a documentary.
Well,
but, like
I did remember we considered that documentary. Our favorite pub up the road is an Irish pub.
Okay.
And every year at St. Patrick's Day, they're nuts. And I had opportunity or the idea to just do, fly on the wall, this Irish pub getting ready for and going through navigating St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I had an idea for that. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but that was an idea. So who knows, something like that.
Yeah. I'm just curious if there was any but not saying it's bad to have to be like, I just love horror and that's what I'm going to go into. Like, awesome. I'm glad there's people putting more of that out there because I have fun watching it, but I just didn't know if there'd be like that little genre that's like, oh, that'd be maybe kind of interesting to dabble in a little bit or not. But what's that? Nothing. That's hey, that's okay. You are committed, and I love it. I love it. I was gonna say hi really quick to we had Video Man Gizmo in here. Gizmo's saying hello. He's Gizmo. You always make me proofread your chats. He likes to go a little crazy. He likes to toe the line a little bit. But he's a good guy. He's out in Norway, and he's a filmmaker himself. So,
all right.
Yep. So he's got stuff out there, and actually, I was lucky enough to partake in a fundraiser that he was able to put together an old film and put it out on physical release. So I got a little box set from him that's
awesome.
Came from Norway. So
and one of our sentimental values from Norway. Isn't it? That's one of our favorite movies of the year.
Yeah. Cool. And then also going to say hi to Prince in here, saying hi. And he loves to ask this question. So he says, Corey, when he jumps in, he likes to ask guests what their serotonin boost movie is. So do you have a movie, if you're in the dumps, you got to throw in, get you in a good mood, or you're just going to have a fun night with it? Do you have one that, and it doesn't have to be your favorite movie ever, but just one off the top of your head that you're just like, they'll put a smile on my face.
Just because of that it's Christmas, Elf.
There you go. Yep.
I love Elf.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the one.
Yeah, I love it.
It seems like a funny choice, but that's like a film for me.
I love the mix, Elf and Texas Chainsaw.
I like Elf as well.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, we both love Elf.
We both love Elf. It's true.
Yeah. I'll have to say the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was probably one of the first true horror movies I saw as a kid and scared me to death.
It's
and
scary.
I still get creeped out when I watch it.
Oh yeah,
I love it. I love it so much.
They got the dirty, grungy feel of the whole thing, but it's very good.
All in daylight. Oh, here's a little figurine.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that. I love it. I have a few Funko Pops too. I love. I collect too many different things.
We do too.
We all have our habits, right?
Yeah.
But what was I going to say here? I don't want to keep you all night. I know we're kind of running out of time.
We're good.
Are you still doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, you'll never hurt my feelings. I always tell people, it's like, you won't hurt my feelings to wrap it up. If we feel like we have more to talk about, I just would love if you're willing to come back again. I would love to hang out again.
That would be great.
Yeah. Because like I said, sometime we can just like you're throwing out on your, your Fright Club or, things like that, where you can come up with different topics, like kind of hone in on something that's going on movie wise or collecting and dive into that. So I already can tell you don't have to commit to anything, but you're a fun couple to talk to, and I think it'd be fun to do this again sometime.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree.
Can you tell me? I know I'm diving back into a previous question, kind of where I was asking how it changed when you were making a film on your own, how it changed how you critique movies, how you look at them. But do you think not only critiquing them, but do you watch movies any differently? Maybe it's already been kind of answered, but whether you're looking at like, why'd they do the shot that way? Or, man, you could have done that differently. Or do you feel like you have a different eye when you're looking at the movie?
I think I have a different appreciation for things done in a different way. I have a different appreciation for like shot selection, for when a camera move or a camera angle is interesting just to be interesting, or when it's interesting because it serves the narrative. If you look at it from that angle, for example, if I think that having had to make those choices, like where are we going to set the camera? Is it going to move? Is it going to be static? Or are we going to, low angle, high angle? I think having to be very conscious about when to do it and why, like what is the purpose, has made me more attentive to those choices when I watch a film.
Mm-hmm.
I could just only imagine. Look, I've never been through that process, but I'm just thinking you're seeing and having to do all the behind the scene things that somebody like me sitting down to watch the movie have no idea about, probably what's going on, and whether it gives you a little bit more critical eye on some things or not. I was just curious about that. But
yeah, and if you can also tell when they're skimping on a certain aspect of the film.
Sound.
Like for me, it's sound.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly important. And there have been on occasions where other independent filmmakers in town have asked us to watch their movie and maybe have some critique. And a lot of times it comes down to sound. They just don't pay enough attention to it. Oh, it's just a sound. Oh, I actually said that to one person years ago after I watched the movie and said, well, the sound mix is a little rough. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So, those things that you're more in tune to, that as hopefully as filmmakers go along, they'll learn how important that is, because it's hugely important.
For me though, more than anything, watching as many movies as I have has influenced making a movie far more than making a movie has influenced.
I got you. Okay. Yeah.
I have learned everything from watching other people's movies and admiring certain choices that they make, and admiring how they pace. Comedy and horror are paced in very similar ways.
Mm-hmm.
You create tension and then you punctuate it.
Payoff.
Comedy with a laugh, and in horror with a scare. And I think that I learned a tremendous amount from comedy as well as horror. But just so for me, it flows in that direction. Just loving films as much as I do, and really admiring what a filmmaker can do has had a big influence on me in trying to learn from and apply those same skills.
I could see that. So okay. So we're talking about the critic and the creator. You both are both of those, and so you're sitting down to watch a movie. Do you feel like either of those voices kick in sooner when you're watching a movie to review? The creative side of you or the critic side of you when you're watching?
For me, it's just still the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if that ever gets to the point where that's not the one that wins out, then I might think I'm done being a film critic. If I ever approach it academically as opposed to like you know what I mean? If it ever feels like work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I already got a job. I don't need another one.
Right. I look forward to every movie. I mean, there are movies where I just think, but
or you're human.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, I think I still, when I sit down and watch a movie, I watch one as a fan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that being said, when you can see some little things where either you're more forgiving, where you're like, I've been there before and money can only go so far, or if they just would have done this little thing to, when you're critiquing or like reviewing a movie, maybe that's better to say than critiquing, but when you're reviewing a movie, what's harder for you to watch? One that was almost really good, like if they would have just given it a little bit more in this spot or that, or one that's just truly just outright awful or bad. Which one would you have a harder time reviewing between that whole critic and creator thing?
We've commented to each other that the hardest ones are the ones that are just kind of like,
yeah, mediocre.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just, because some that are really, really bad, those are easy. And some that are really, really good, then you just want to be very effusive about why people should see this movie. But when you're like, it's hard to. What am I going to say? Am I going to recommend people see this movie or not? It's just kind of there. There's
only so many ways you can go meh.
And believe me, I've done that quite a few times before with some of them. But no, I could see that. So it's just one that doesn't elicit some type of emotion out of you.
Yeah.
Like whether it's a dislike or a like. If it's just like you said, meh.
Yeah.
It's hard to elaborate on that.
The movies that I'm least forgiving of are movies that were made with a lot of money. Like if a low budget movie, like there are so many obstacles in their way, and I think if I see the boom mic in this shot, I'm gonna let it go. You know what I mean? Like, right. Or if the whole cast is great and you got this one person who's just not quite there, like maybe it's the producer's niece and you had no choice. I can be forgiving, I think, but if you've got unlimited funds and your sound mix is bad or your CGI is terrible, and I just think, well, what's the excuse there?
Yeah. And of course now with streaming being so prevalent, you can almost always tell when it's just been designed for a streaming algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's only unfortunately getting worse and going to get worse. You can tell when it's been designed for people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
And that's
really hard on you when you do pay attention. It's really tough.
Yeah. Well, so not to back up just a little bit though too, but so I think both of you have hit on sound mixing and the sound, but even little old me doing my fun YouTube stuff on here, that was some of the critiques I've gotten, and I've heard other people say before too, where like, if you're gonna maybe you don't have to buy the most expensive thing in the world, but if you're gonna spend a little money, like here's. A lot of the time sound is a thing somebody will say to focus on a little bit more, sometimes people are more forgiving of maybe video quality over having to sit and listen to you, especially if they have to hear me yap for an hour or two, or whatever. But I've heard some very common things with that, even with this, anytime somebody's consuming and watching and spending time, a period of time with something you've created and put out there, pay attention to the ears, a little bit, kind of what I've heard. But it sounds like you're in a big agreement with that as well.
Very much so. Yeah. And we've been guilty of that as well. We've had mics crap out on us in the middle of a podcast, and and I listen back to it and go, I hate that. It sounds awful.
Well, I've also fallen in love with doing live streaming and talking with people. I've kind of leaned to that, and I pretty much have abandoned pre-recorded videos, which that's a goal to get back to that again. But I always love some of the great moments of doing it 3 or 4 times, and that 4th time I'm like, I feel like I nailed it. Go back to watch it and the mic was off, or something like that. There's always some little, big thing, but you're like, come on, Corey, like
in there.
Yeah. It's like, well, it looked really good. Can't hear it, but definitely. So I know we've hit on also, I know I'm jumping around a little bit. That's how I go. Sorry. But you're talking about bad CGI really throwing you off in movies. Do you have a preference when you're watching movies, practical effects over CGI?
Practical all day.
Yeah, and we'll be a lot more forgiving of bad practical effects.
Yeah, because you know what it takes to put some of that together too. And...
love Love the practical effects.
Yeah.
Do you find, well, I won't say my opinion yet, but do you find like even older movies that have really leaned on practical effects that sometimes they age better than the technology at the time, that the CGI that was able to be done? And so I don't know. Do you feel like some age better than others?
I think the movie that we always point to, because it was cutting edge in CGI at the time, but they also used practical and robots, is Jurassic Park. You know, Jurassic Park, you watch it now and it's just stunning to look at. It's 30 years old. And and then you watch like the last two Aquaman movies, and you're like, what the hell? What is going on here?
Are we regressing?
Exactly. We are. Yeah.
And they probably had bigger budget too.
Oh, sure. I mean, they didn't have Spielberg, and
correct, but
some good choices as a director. I've heard.
Do you think?
I think he's gonna do okay, that guy. But at the same time, I mean, 30 years difference, and for the I think the practical effects, the digital effects who have not gotten better, is nuts. I mean, and I know that it's just because they're so commonly used now. Like that people are just taking what they can get in the time period that they have. But I don't think that that's an acceptable flaw in a movie that costs that much money to make.
All right. No, sorry, I'm just kind of like doing these random firing out. But I'll agree. Jurassic Park is a great one to throw out there. Like it's amazing to watch that one compared, like you said, 30 years old or whatever, at this point, compared to something brand new with all of the high tech, every CGI that's going on and millions of dollars being thrown at it, that it can still look better, I think, than quite a bit of modern stuff. But that's one of those gems though, too.
Yeah.
I definitely I was glad that I got to see in the theater, when it was, when I was out there. That was definitely one, saw it multiple times. So that's a different thing now too, with our environment now with streaming. So when that came out, we didn't have our streaming,
right. You had to go see it.
You had to go see it. Yeah. And if you wanted to see it again within 6 months to a year, you're going to watch it again in the theater before it left.
Yeah.
And it also would stay in the theater longer than a week or something that, too. Yeah. And then we had like the second run theaters we'd always talk where the new ones would move to that and it was a little less. And then, so is that a big challenge then too, when you're making your movie? I know you said you didn't like how some content is definitely being geared towards streaming. There's a different route to go with that. Has that influenced how you made your feature film? Like, did you just think this is my idea and this is what I want to make? Or did you like, well, a good route for us to get this out there is on a streaming service, and whether that made any influence on how you were making it?
I don't feel like it did.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Not just because I don't think that the first one that we ever made, with the limitations that we were facing, we probably didn't think that big. Like we weren't. And I think that that's pretty common for first time filmmakers, is that a lot of times you don't think past. A lot of times you don't think all the way to post production, like editing and color correction. A lot of times it's just get me through to wrap, and then we'll deal with post afterwards. So I think for sure we had not given a great deal of thought to what would happen afterwards. Although I think we knew that we would have a limited theatrical run, because of just being sort of partners with several different movie theaters. And we did. We played for a couple of weeks at the Gateway Film Center. And we also played at a drive-in, which was
nice.
Coolest.
That was fun.
That would be cool.
Really fun. That was really
I have great memories growing up. We had a lot of family. It was like one of those things where you'd pull up, and we lived out in the country, and we have family that lived in town, that was the small town that had the drive-in theater, and they always had nights where it was you pay by the vehicle.
Carload night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it was always, it's a farming community, so there was always trucks, and we'd throw lawn chairs and coolers in the back of the truck, and like pile in and go. I have so many great memories of drive-ins. There's one that's maybe about an hour and a half away from me that I would love to try to get over to sometime. But it's funny that some of them have come back. But okay, sorry, I go off. But that is so cool. A horror movie on the drive-in. I mean, that's classic.
Yeah. I think it was really gratifying to see how well it fit with a drive-in type of presentation. And part of they showed a bunch of short films up until then, just the whole night. It was really cool. Really cool.
So it was kind of like a drive-in film festival then. You kind of had that's cool. So any of the shorts that came out ahead of that, did you know any of the people that made those then? And
they screened one of our short films, Godspeed, and one of Jason Husband, our producer, one of his short films.
And then Jonathan Riles had an animated
so we
short.
did. We
knew some of the filmmakers.
Mainly Ohio filmmakers. Some short films.
Fun.
Like a pregame before our feature.
Pre-gaming.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, you're kind of like tailgating with the friends and then watch your movies and that's great. So not only is it cool to get a picture from somebody at home saying like, "Hey, look, I'm watching your thing on Tubi." Is it pretty cool to like sit at a drive-in theater with that gigantic screen out in front to be like
very cool?
Oh my gosh!
Of course, never record the big screen, kids. I took photos like every time one of the actors, like one of the, I just to send, like to text all of the people, like, look at you, the moon behind the screen and there's your face. And there's a lot of people in our cast.
A lot of people.
I have my phone out a lot.
Well, I could imagine, or I can't imagine. It's just like, it's just, that's your thing is alive and on there. And, so how long, sorry, and I won't keep you all night, I promise. But did you always want to make films? Like both of you, did you always have that dream to do it when you started watching movies and like reviewing movies, or is that something that developed after some time?
I think for me, early on, back to as a kid, I probably thought about being in them more than making them. Has switched now, completely reversed. Even though I'm cajoled into being in a
we need a guy in this part. Come on.
But I don't know about you.
I actually never even kicked around the idea of making a film. Just writing them. I just write. I'm a writer. It's and I had intended to work with a producer, find a director, and have it made. I did not intend to make it to be the director at all. And then it just sort of led to that. It's like horror, and it's a horror comedy. It's a weird tone. It's a weird tone. And I was the more we talked, I was worried to hand the reins over to somebody. I was worried that it would become something that I didn't want it to be, like it's a funny movie, but the death isn't funny. The characters are funny. The people are funny, but murder's not funny. Right. Like, so, you don't just like see like a big slash and oh no face, and then people's entrails fall out onto the ground in a big bump, it's it's a funny movie. It really is. But anyway, I think comedy has a very specific tone. And the more I just decided, I was going to do it. I was just going to hold the reins. And so I think we just realized at some point I'm more of a control freak than I ever realized that I was.
But I can understand if you have this like dream to like make something, and I can understand it'd be hard to let go and then see it changed from what you originally imagined. That'd be a tough thing. And then you're like, well, that's not mine then, kind of a thing.
I think what surprised me, I was worried then that I would be the same with the actors, that I would be very controlling about the way they were. And it turned out I was delighted by what they did with the characters. I just delighted me to see these characters bloom in a way that was not in my head. And as far as I was concerned, was not on the page, because it's not what I thought of, but they found something different. And what we've done in short films since the feature is we co-direct mainly. And and George, I think, is he's much more natural with actors, probably because he did some acting and he does radio. So he's more attuned to sort of the art of performance and what it takes.
Okay.
And so I think that if we were to do another feature, probably we would co-direct it. I think the Druncula is the latest short film that we made.
I love the name, by the way.
Right? Great title. Of all of our short films, I think it's by far the best. And I think part of that is because it really was like a true collaboration in every sense. And George really did most of the work with the actors to sort of bring out the characters and the actors.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just a collaboration between the two of us. We also had people help us with the story. The actual idea came from other people.
Yeah.
And so it was our biggest collaboration. Yeah. But I think she's selling herself short. I think she's terrific with the scripts and the ideas, and also she does something that is so genius in almost all of these. She'll carry around a notebook, and so when somebody, just could be me, could be you, could be someone we pass on the street, says something interesting, she'll write it down.
Yeah,
just an interesting turn of phrase,
yeah,
or a cool sentence, or a weird sentence.
Yeah. And that way she falls back on these so that when she's writing characters, they all don't sound like her, which is incredibly important, because I just watched a movie the other day from this year that is one that is getting some awards consideration. And I remember talking, I said, I liked it, but it felt to me like the writer wrote everybody speaking as they spoke. And I immediately thought of what she does, because you want people to sound like different people. And she has all these little bits to draw from of other people speaking. I thought it's like a genius idea to do in making characters. And
that sounds great. I don't know if I'd be able to keep organized with, but you're already talking about doing the spreadsheets and everything. So you must be very organized with things, but to have that memory to be like, to dive into that, but that's great. That's like, I also hear people too, like that are doing movies or YouTube videos and things. And sometimes they're just shooting like the B-roll, like random stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh yeah, I remember that I did that like 2 months ago. That'll fit in here just perfect. That you can like dip into that well and be like, oh, I remember this, or that fit that character or this scene, or wow. Then, I'm not organized enough to be able to do that. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, like she alluded to, we also were blessed with some terrific actors who had some terrific ideas on how to make the character their own.
Yeah.
We had terrific actors and a terrific crew as well. We were so blessed.
Oh, it's crazy what we.
In the 90s, there were a couple people that we wouldn't work with again. Other than that.
More pros than cons, right?
Yeah.
Much more.
Yeah.
Which really, it's one thing about the cast, because when you cast it, you have auditions and people do, like we would have people do a scene like this over stream or whatever. But a lot of the crew we got just sight unseen. Oh, this person will do it. And we were so lucky because we didn't know them, and 98% of them turned out to be just wonderful people.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we were just really blessed all the way around.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, like you said, limited time, limited budget. You can't mess around too much with that. So, or at all. And so when you, like you said, if you're blessed with those now, then the next feature film, you might be knocking on there or ringing them up again, and be like, hey.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more your circle.
You have the repeat
of people that know, and your network expands. And like she was saying, that's why you just, if you're young, you get into it, and maybe a film festival, just start meeting people. Yeah. Volunteer to be a PA on somebody's short film.
Definitely do that.
And then your circle expands, and then and you have a well of people to go to. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you're up for it, I got a couple rapid fire questions, and then we could wrap it up for you tonight. Like I said, I can talk till the sun comes up, but that just means I don't want to bore you to death, and I'd love to have you back on again sometime and hang out. But we'll do some rapid fire real quick.
Okay.
But we've talked about watching movies in the theater, watching movies at home, watching movies at the drive-in. Do you have a preference? If you could just pick one of those to check out a movie you really want to see, do you have one that you'd lean towards? And I don't think there's a right or wrong. Just what you would pick.
Theater.
Oh yeah, theater.
Yeah.
Theater, and I'm a back row. I always go to the back row.
Yeah.
Every time, because the number one thing I can't stand in the theater is someone kicking the back of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
So back row every time.
One of the things I love so much about one of the theaters when they finally switched to some of the leather reclining seat things, they're far enough apart. There's no way that somebody can kick you, and nobody's head is in your way.
Yeah.
And I'm not even that tall of a guy, I don't think. You know, like I'm 5'10", 5'11", and the old seats, I'd have my knees against the back of the seat, you know, and so I couldn't imagine somebody that's 6+, you know. I love that as well. 100%. Okay, horror movies. Would you lean towards something that is horror with this like deep brooding meaning or cause to it, or one that's just crazy chaos?
Boy, it depends on the day.
Your mood. I know these are tough to be like.
But I think, on the whole, something that has sort of some depth to it.
Same.
Yeah. Something that's maybe a little challenging.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
With a side of chaos.
A little side. Yeah. You got to have a little in there. I mean, it's a horror movie. You can't have it just no chaos in there. But that's just silly. What would you pick here? Okay. I'll get two more and I promise I'll wrap it up for tonight. But comfort rewatch or a first time watch? What would you go for?
Boy, again, I feel like it depends on the day. But
yeah, I know these are tricky.
Probably be the first time watch.
Yeah,
something new.
Watch because that's just our life. I mean, it's mostly first time watch.
But also, I mean, I keep a list of horror movies that I haven't seen. And so. On the rare occasion that I have like 90 minutes to kill, I will go find one of those, and it's always a first time watch. But I feel like a big gaping hole in my life if I haven't seen it yet. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last one for the rapid fire. So that leaned right into it, or led right into it perfectly. So, saying both of these are great movies, what would you lean towards first? Short, tight story that runs you maybe at that 90 minutes, or long, epic movie that's your 2.5 to 3 hour movie? Both are great movies, but what would you lean towards more?
Probably a short, tight story, although immediately I'm saying unless it's one battle after another,
which I still need to see that one.
Because if it's done that well, I don't care.
Right.
You don't feel the runtime.
But on the same on the same token, I guess there's a lot of times we'll see a movie that is say 2 hours long, and we'll say to each other, "Boy, if they could have shaved 20 minutes off that, and just lean and mean and let's go," it would have just really given it another star or whatever.
But I guess what you're saying is that like if right now this minute I got to choose, I'm gonna go lean.
Yeah. So you kind of what you were hitting on though too. I have some movies that are 90 minutes and less that I will not watch unless it's one of those nights where it's like, there's no way it's, at this time or whatever, there's no way I'm going to watch a 3 hour movie, So I like to keep some of those in my back pocket for a movie or a night I want to get a movie in, but don't have enough time. So if it's like, really early, I don't want to like waste it on that, kind of a thing. And not that we waste, I want to watch the movie, but it's like, it's nice to have a couple of those in the back pocket when you don't have 3 hours to watch a movie, or you're a little tired, or something, but you still want to get a movie in. But all right. Well, all right. I feel like this has been so much fun. I feel like I've been keeping you quite a bit, but I'll tell you, everybody that's been chiming in, I appreciate it. Links are in the description for the website, for the YouTube channel. I'm going to go look up and see if I can link Tubi for the Obstacle Corpse, the feature length film that the two of you have worked so hard on, and I'm loved hearing about that. I would even someday love to dig into that even more. I think you could make a whole live stream just that process and the ups and downs and the things you weren't expecting, and there's a whole big story right there.
Did you put on, because while we were filming it, it was actually the day that it poured down rain, the local TV news came out and did a segment. Did you put that on YouTube? Is that on our YouTube channel?
No, it's on the Blu-ray. It's not.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, that'd be fun.
It's on the Blu-ray.
Okay. More to come on that one, right? But So with that happening, what's coming up next for Mad Wolf? YouTube channel, anything other, things for people to watch out for with the two of you?
Well, we have the latest short film, Druncula, is out just started a festival run. So the coming year of 2026, it'll be hopefully in several festivals.
But we have Al Fresco is the last short, and we'll add that to YouTube probably in a couple of weeks. We'll have heard from the last festival, so
and that picked up
free.
That's picked up a couple of awards on the festival.
And I wrote that. Nice. George directed that one.
I directed that. She wrote it. Yeah, and
I have a new book.
She has a new book out.
I do.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me. I'm so. I know I can do this. Here we go. There we go. Look at me. Technical. That is awesome. So Killer Pictures.
Yep.
Where can we find that?
Everywhere. Barnes & Noble and Prime and, everywhere. So it's about a film festival where a judge thinks maybe the movies are killing people. Kind of a mystery.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
So like with things like that too, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't make a difference, but is there any avenues to, if somebody wants to check that, if I want to go check that book out, if I want to go grab that, is there any avenue that is more beneficial for you for it to go through?
That's a good question.
Not to sound bad, but
no. That's a good question.
It is.
I get the same amount if you get it from any of the online bookstores. So, okay. But also if you would rather an audiobook, George reads the audiobook.
What if I want both? I want both. No, I love reading books, but I will do audiobooks quite a bit, just with my job. And I'll admit, I like reading books, but I'm a slow reader. So, sometimes the audiobook, I can, tear through it a little bit faster. But where can we find the audiobook then?
Also
wherever. Okay. All right.
I know for sure it's on Amazon. I think it's on Barnes & Noble as well. I think it's everywhere you go.
Okay. So you're not going to start like on the website, start doing selling autograph copies, direct out to people or anything, or
it's funny because we used to, and the
was it a pain?
No, but the online store that we were using doesn't exist anymore. Like the app is longer.
We're trying to navigate around that.
We are trying to navigate around that, and it hasn't worked out that well for us. But if we ever managed, we'll have autographed copies of the book as well as a Blu-ray. We'll be able to
nice.
sell on there. But
so the Blu-ray you'd be looking at for Obstacle Corpse, or yep.
We have some Blu-rays that have like she said, some little extras like that news bit, and we did a commentary track.
Oh, nice.
Commentary track, and then there's a lot of behind the scenes footage, and the proof of concept short is on it. So nice. That's fun.
So things to watch for that. Oh, go ahead.
One more.
Yeah.
Coming up in 2026 sometime, she is going to be starring in a movie that we did not make.
No.
We did not make. There's a movie coming out hopefully next year called The Pumpkin Lady.
Yeah.
And she is the Pumpkin Lady.
I am the Pumpkin Lady.
The Pumpkin Lady.
Yeah.
So horror movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I was assuming, but I didn't want to assume.
It's directed by the man who did Our Blood Effects, David Greathouse.
Yeah, written and directed.
And
I've gotten to see some of the footage, and it really looks amazing. It's
nice.
my only hope is that I don't ruin this for him.
Oh no, don't do that. But you were talking about doing this writing and behind the camera work. So is this your first time jumping in front of the camera?
I've been in some of our shorts mainly for comic relief or a dead body. There have been times.
That sounds like a role I could do too.
Exactly.
Like be the dead body.
There have been times where I've written a character, and it's invariably with few to no lines, and I'm too embarrassed to ask an actor to do it. Like, hey, do you want to play racist fan? You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'll just do that one, the one I'm too embarrassed to cast somebody else to do.
Yeah.
But not proper acting. So God bless him for thinking that I can, and and he's making a really fascinating, in a Dust Bunny sort of way, like one of those films that has that macabre sense of wonder about it. So I'm really thrilled for Dave. He's doing a great job. And I just hope I don't wreck it.
No, I think maybe just you bring something to it too. If you've been through on the other side of the camera, and so maybe that helps with that. I don't know. You definitely have seen some different sides. I always hear that. I've never done either side of the camera, so I couldn't speak from experience, but I always hear that, like maybe you get the appreciation and you'll approach the acting in front of that maybe with a different mindset because you've dealt with the things on the other side of the camera and budget, time, working with people, hardships. And I'm sure, unfortunately not everything goes perfectly, I'm sure. Like you said, having a pouring rain in the middle of your shoot and you're just like, okay, we got to roll with it.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We can't do anything else, but we'll have to work with it. But that's awesome. So on the YouTube channel, the podcast. So you got your shows that are going on. When can people expect those to pop up usually?
Yeah, every Friday afternoon we have a new screening room, and then the Fright Club kind of goes on its own schedule. We usually like to have 2 a month, one live one that we do in front of the crowd, and then one we do in the studio here like this. But then lately we've just been blessed with a lot of great guests, and we've had
nice.
a bunch coming up here, and so we have one that we haven't even put out yet. So it's been more often lately.
The live events are only audio. We don't we don't film those, but they're still on YouTube, but they're just audio.
All right, nice. A couple other people I was just gonna say hi quick, just since they were dropping in. We had Big Al in here. Big Al Presents says hello, and look at this. Just bought the audiobook.
Oh,
there you go. So
wow. Thank you.
That is awesome. I'll be tracking the audio, and I also I'm a physical media collector, so I love having I love audiobooks, but I also love having the book to have in my hand too. So very cool. That was very nice of you, Al. I hope you enjoy it. I'll have to get through it too, and maybe Big Al and I will have a little chat about that. He likes doing stuff on his YouTube channel as well. But
good.
We had Doom Boogie in here. Doom, thanks for dropping in here.
Thank you.
All right, one. If you're game for it, one last question, I promise, and we'll let you go. But Prince was asking, since he's overseas, he's asking, do you have any foreign film favorites?
Yeah.
Some that are not
all
from the
time
US.
or this year.
Or either. Just it doesn't. I wouldn't say it has to be all time, but just something that you enjoyed.
I think In the Mood for Love is my all-time favorite foreign language film.
Which one?
In the Mood for Love.
Okay, I have not seen that.
Oh,
that's up there.
Glorious.
That's up there.
Horror films, though, my favorite sort of niche of horror films were the French films from the early 2000s, French New Extreme movies. So like Calvaire, which is actually Belgian, Shaitan, Inside, Trouble Every Day. Those are some of my favorite.
One of mine that comes to mind, The White Ribbon. From several years ago.
Anything from Michael Haneke.
From this year, Surat, I just watched a few weeks ago, is great. And then Sentimental Value
Sentimental Value
is partly foreign language. We love foreign language films. Yeah, love them.
I was going to say, it's been a few years back now, but I started diving into some Korean horror movies. And like some of those, I was like, man, they don't pull the shot away at all or anything. So
they don't.
One that popped into my head was I Saw the Devil.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Okay. That was one that I was like, that was one of my eye openers where I was like, dang, they kind of went there with a lot of things in that movie, but very good films.
Of course, Parasite.
Parasite,
Border, I think, is from Norway, right?
Border.
I think, we love that.
Yeah, we showed that at Fright Club.
Nice.
Yeah, we love it.
Well, very good. So, again, we'll start wrapping it up here because I know I went probably way over what you were expecting for tonight. I'm a chatter. I get going, but it's so easy when you got some fun people to talk to, and it's not you don't have to twist my arm too hard to talk about movies, and to have people that want to talk about it. And it's like, oh, okay, let's go. But if you don't mind hanging on for just a little bit after we go off live, if I can just have just a couple more minutes of your time, but I will say thank you so much again for joining in on this. I appreciate it very, very much. I know it's always kind of a chance when you don't know who the person is and you're going on. So I appreciate you, taking time out of your night, your busy schedule to jump on here and chat with me about this. And
we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I would say everybody that's jumped into the chat tonight or watching it on a replay, appreciate it so much. I would say again, links are in the description. I'm going to add some more when I can here. We're going to get the Tubi link for Obstacle Corpse, and I'll have to see if I can get a link, maybe throw it out to the book or the audiobook are out there too. So I did not know about that either. I keep on talking to you, and now both of you, I'm going to find out more and more things. I'm like, that could be a whole nother live stream to talk to y'all about. So, but yeah, if you don't mind hanging on, everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Love you all. Always say that. I appreciate you all coming in and supporting and joining in with the chat. And we will join y'all really soon again for another movie club. So thank you very much for coming in. So we'll call it a night.